Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, it has been so long since I last posted. But I am so sorry that I had to change my channel name, cause a person that I do not like, I don't want them following my channel. They know the name of my channel, so I wanted to change that so then they can't follow me. But anyway, so I hope you like the new channel name. I changed it to Sydney Blake. So I hope you like that. I mean, I like it. It's certainly easier to refer to instead of calling me AJ Parker 13B. So I hope that helps a little bit. So today I finally wrote part 2 of the Wendigo series, and yeah, it's what you've been waiting for a long time. I know, I'm sorry, but I finally have it because I finished school yesterday, so now I have all the free time in the world to write my stories. So without further ado, please don't forget to subscribe and witness part 3? Yeah, part 3. I almost said part 4. Anyway, so like and subscribe if you want to witness part 3 of the Wendigo series, or watch any of my other videos that I have premiering. I'm gonna, write more of that. But anyway, let's get to it. It's been a week since the announcement of the school trip to America for the hero training course. You had been packing for what feels like days, when in reality, it had only been a few hours. Your thoughts had completely taken over your mind now, filling your head with worst-case scenarios. This wasn't exactly going to be the relaxing trip back to your homeland you had imagined, despite getting to see your family again. The worst part was, you were going to have to introduce every single one of your friends from your class. This couldn't get any more embarrassing. Just then, a sudden knock on your bedroom door pulled you out of your thoughts. You recognized that it was Bakugo based on how loud it was, your body immediately tensing up. There was a second knock, but this time it was softer, and you pretty much figured out that it was Kirishima with him. Bakugo's voice cut through the silence, rough with his usual tone. "Oi, you done packing? You've been in there for hours." You checked your phone, realizing that your plane was going to depart in just a few hours. Your face went pale, grabbing your suitcase and sling backpack to dash out the door. Bakugo and Kirishima both jumped as you swung the door open, their eyes wide with surprise. You ran past them, practically carrying your suitcase at this point with how fast you were going. You called back over your shoulder, still running. "Come on, let's go! We're going to miss our flight!" Both boys exchanged a worried glance, before Kirishima laughed softly. He loved how you were lively, your spirit burning with energy that could even make him run for his money. However, this kind of energy was slightly unsettling. The way you had rushed past them and not even turning to look at them came off as either anxious or upset to both boys. They didn't even try to catch up with you at this point, knowing you probably made it to the bus already and climbed on with your classmates. When you got to the bus, you noticed the seats were split into groups of 3. Which for some reason made your stomach twist with anxiety. You had found an empty row near the back of the bus, taking the window seat so you could look outside during the trip. You glanced at the row ahead of you, seeing Deku, Todoroki, and Kaminari sitting together. Kaminari was chatting with Deku, talking about the new song by a band they both listened to that had just been released, with Todoroki sitting by the window, earbuds in his ears. You felt strangely secure with these boys around. Besides, Kirishima and Bakugo, of course. However, your cravings for flesh had been intensifying all day, making it hard to be around your friends without practically drooling. You lifted your suitcase, trying to put it in the baggage compartment that rested above your head, though you were having a tough time. You honestly had forgotten just how much you had packed, not realizing it before you got onto the bus. Todoroki saw you out of the corner of his eye, taking his earbuds out to ask you for assistance. "You look like you could use a hand with that. Need any help?" You grunted, shaking your head. "Nah, I got this." He stood up, taking your suitcase and tossing it into the baggage compartment with ease. He looks at you, a question in his gaze. Just how much did you pack for the trip? Your gaze moved to the side, a slight blush blooming on your cheeks. Let's just call it stress packing. He nodded, his blank expression unwavering. If you say so. If you need anything else, just ask me. You relaxed slightly at his kindness, relieved he didn't notice you acting suspicious earlier. Yeah, thanks, Todoroki. I'll keep that in mind. He finished with a nod before returning to his seat, leaving you by yourself once more. Unfortunately, you weren't alone for long, before two familiar faces had stepped onto the bus. You shrunk back in your seat, hoping you wouldn't be seen. But as you expected, they found you sitting by the window, and came over to sit next to you. Kirishima smiled, waving a hand to get your attention. Hey, we get to sit next to each other! Sweet! Bakugo, with his usual scowl, scoffed. I'm not going to be the one sandwiched between the two of you. And the seat in the middle is too small for Kirishima and his big ass. So you're gonna have to sit between us, punk. You visibly tensed, raising your hands in a defensive gesture. Whoa, hold on. If you guys need space, I can just move to a different seat. Kirishima's face fell, confusion in his gaze. What? No, we just want to sit with you is all. If that's okay, of course. You froze, thinking for a moment. The silence between the three of you was intense, more so than it would have been if one of you said something. You quickly replied, scratching the back of your neck sheepishly. Of course you can sit with me. Sorry that I made you feel like you couldn't. Kirishima's smile returned, putting his bag with yours above your seat. It's okay. We should have asked before assuming you'd want to sit with us. Your face turned pale. What were you thinking? Making your two best friends feel like they weren't welcome to even sit next to you? You waved your hands frantically, quickly putting the blame on yourself. No, it's my fault. You shouldn't feel like you have to ask before sitting with me. You're always welcome. Bakugo smirked, running a hand through his spiky hair as he sat down on your right side next to the window. Good thing. I would have blown your face off if you didn't. You rolled your eyes, Kirishima laughing as he sat down on your other side. What he means is, we're just glad you're happy to hang with us. You smiled at his cheerful attitude. I do like hanging with you. A lot. You took your seat in between the two boys, feeling small compared to them. Kirishima looked down at you, a soft smile touching his lips. The sight made your chest flutter, but you refused to let it get the best of you. It had been about an hour and a half before you reached the airport, all your classmates making their way out of the bus in single file. Bakugo and Kirishima were already heading to exit the bus when they noticed you were lagging behind. Your suitcase was being a pain once again, having gotten stuck in the baggage compartment. You tugged repeatedly at the handle, using your whole body weight to try and make it budge, but it didn't move. Everyone was now off the bus, and you were left by yourself, until Bakugo had stepped back on, keeping the doors open for you. You coming, punk? He asked, his voice softer than usual. You nodded quickly, using every ounce of your strength you had to pull your suitcase out. When it finally budged, you fell backwards, your bag landing on top of you with a thud. Kirishima saw what happened and called out to you from outside the bus. Whoa, you okay? You gave a thumbs up, grabbing your things and rushing out of the vehicle. Bakugo smirked, chuckling to himself. He loved how you were clumsy, and how graceful you made it look, all at the same time. You truly were one of those people who could make him smile. As you made your way inside the airport with the rest of your classmates, you kept some distance between everyone, not wanting to walk too close to them. The hunger, inside, was making it hard for you not to notice how good everyone smelled, their scent alone enough to make your mouth water. You shook your head, slapping yourself with both palms on either side of your face. You thought to yourself, no, I refuse to give in. I won't. Kirishima had seen the way you slapped yourself and immediately appeared beside you. Whoa, what was that? Your eyes widened, and you began to wave your hands in the air. What was what? I didn't do anything. Kirishima's brow furrowed, and he pointed to one of your cheeks, which were red. I wouldn't call hitting yourself nothing. Oh, don't worry about that. I just got nervous about the flight, so I tried to snap myself out of it. You chuckled nervously, not making eye contact with him. Kirishima clearly wasn't convinced, but didn't push the issue. Lying to him had made you more guilty than you had expected, your shoulders slumping forward in self-defeat. You muttered to yourself, pinching the bridge of your nose. Why would I say that? Damn, he probably knows I lied. That was so lame, and not to mention unmanly. You were now on the plane, having taken a seat near the front. Aizawa really didn't care about who you sat next to. as long as no one got into a fight, of course. You had at least expected for Kirishima not to sit next to you, after the way you had behaved in front of him. You sighed, burying your face in your hands. You had definitely messed up this time. That's when you felt a large hand squeeze your shoulder, and based on how calloused it was, you were almost positive it was Bakugo. You slowly turned your head, instead of finding Deku standing next to you. Are you okay? You're not sick, are you? I saw you acting weird and wanted to check on you. Your heart swelled at his kindness, and quickly reassured him. I'm fine. I just get anxious before a flight, you know? His eyebrows shot up, a look of surprise on his face. Oh, are you afraid of heights? I never would have guessed, based on how tough you usually are. Your gaze dropped to the floor, a somewhat smile on your face. I guess we all have our little secrets, huh? And some of those shouldn't be made public, am I right? Deku's expression fell for a second, before quickly replacing it with another bright smile. If you need anything, you can always come to me, okay? You gave a curt nod, settling back into your seat. Before you knew it, you were once again squished in between Bakugo and Kirishima as always, the familiar atmosphere calming your uneasy nerves once more. A few hours passed, and the plane finally landed in America down in Texas. You stepped out of the airport, and were immediately hit by a warm breeze. The warmth seeped into your skin, a distant memory of your childhood returning once more to the present. You felt a hand clap on your shoulder, and turned to find Kirishima standing just a few inches away from you. So, this is where you grew up, huh? It sure is hot. You chuckled and replied, Well, it's Texas. What did you expect? And no, this is not where I grew up. At least, not here at the airport. My family's ranch is out in the countryside, but it's not far from here. Bakugo appeared on your other side, walking in front of you. This place is hot as hell. You practically grew up in a desert. Kirishima elbowed him, shooting a playful glare. Hey, it's not that bad. But I have to agree, it is a bit warm today. You rolled your eyes once more, crossing your arms over your chest. Again, it's Texas. It's not exactly known for having a cooler climate. And quit complaining. If I could survive here for more than 14 years, you can surely survive 2 weeks at the least. Bakugo scoffs, but doesn't argue, grabbing his suitcase as well as yours. Knowing you would have packed a lot. Little did you know that the second you went to find the bus your class was going to take, that you'd hear the familiar voice of your mother calling out to you. Hey, there's my wild stallion! You whipped around, only to have your mom wrap her arms around you in a tight hug. She spun you around before gently setting you back down, her laughter filling the air. Oh my goodness, you have changed so much since the last time I saw you. She cupped your face in her hands, pressing a kiss to your forehead, then said something in French, which neither Bakugo or Kirishima could understand. Kirishima raised an eyebrow, a look of confusion in his gaze. What did she just say? He asked, rubbing the back of his neck sheepishly. You turned back to both boys, translating for your mom. Oh, she said that she missed me a lot. She grew up in France, so she can speak French. Bakugo shoved his hands in his pockets, his usual smirk returning. Damn, you never told us you could speak French, punk. Well, not exactly. I only know a little bit. Sure, a little bit. You rolled your eyes, turning back to your mother. Where's Dad? Or did he have something better to do? Well, he said that he'd be here as soon as he could. You raised an eyebrow, skeptical. Sure, that's what he said on my 10th birthday when he got caught up with work. Kirishima laughed. Sounds like your dad's busy. What's his job? You froze, your eyes darting to your mother, not making eye contact with either of the boys. Well, you see, he has an almost full-time job and is always away from home. It can be hard to tell sometimes if he'll be here tomorrow and gone the next. Bakugo noticed how you were avoiding the question, his eyes narrowing. Is your father's job so bad that you wouldn't answer Kirishima's question directly? Your mother interrupted, stepping in front of you. How about we discuss this when we are settled back at our ranch? And besides, it's almost dinner time, and I'm sure all of you must be famished from your long journey. You nodded. Yes, of course. Dinner sounds amazing. But I think we'll need a ride enough to hold 22 people. Your mother grinned, pulling out a set of car keys. Don't worry, I already planned ahead. She pressed a button on the keychain, a big, white bus opening its doors. I rented a bus for the whole class so I could drive you all home safe and sound. You sighed, murmuring to yourself. Hopefully you can drive that bus better than you can drive a car. Kirishima, trying to contain his laughter, chuckled softly. What did you just say? Izuku then appeared behind the three of you, a bright and enthusiastic smile on his face. Wow, is this our ride to the ranch? And wait, is that who I think it is? The rest of the class approached you five, staring at the bus before them. Your mother beamed, her voice booming. Come on, you kids, let's hustle! Some of your classmates just shrugged, boarding the bus as instructed. You linked both arms with the boys, pulling them with you. Come on, you two, let's get this over with. All of you boarded the bus, its door slowly closing before your mom pulled away from the airport. The drive took about an hour, which made sense. Your ranch was large and in the middle of nowhere, making it perfect for raising cattle. When you finally arrived, you saw your house, along with the barn just a good distance from your old abode. Alrighty, y'all, your mom called out. This is our stop. She opened the bus doors, letting you and your classmates exit the vehicle. Kirishima viewed the quiet countryside, breathing in the fresh air, which smelled like hay and greenery. He smiled to himself, glancing back at you. This place is so quiet. No cars, no construction, nothing but silence. You nodded, your suitcase trailing behind you as you walked with him. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Bakugo clicked his tongue, looking around at the wide range of property. It feels almost too quiet. You chuckled. You'll get used to it. Your mom led the class to a building which laid off to the side of the house, a cabin that was just right for the amount of people that were going to occupy it. This is where y'all will sleep. There should be enough bunk beds inside. All of your meals will be served inside the house, breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at noon, and dinner at 7 p.m. Now, why don't you all get settled in? I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything. As you walked inside the cabin, Kirishima caught sight of the bunk beds, rushing towards one near the front door. He shouts, I call the top bunk! Bakugo rolled his eyes, setting his bag on the bed below Kirishima's. Fine, whatever. I prefer the bottom bunk anyway. Kaminari threw his bag onto the bunk next to the boys, grinning. Mind if I crash next to you guys? Kirishima smiled. Hell yeah! Kaminari glanced in your direction. Do you want to share a bunk with me? You can have the top bunk if you want. You nodded, placing your suitcase at the foot of the bed. Thanks, Kaminari. You climbed the ladder to the top bunk, laying down after such a long day of traveling. Kirishima watched as you collapsed onto the mattress, chuckling. Tired? You groaned, rolling onto your side to face him. Ugh. Is it that obvious? He gave you a bit of a sympathetic expression, smiling softly. Aw, I hope after you get some sleep you'll feel better tomorrow. Bakugo plopped down on his own mattress, face down. Ugh, I hate traveling. Why did we have to take a plane somewhere so far away for our training courses? Come on, Bakugo, Kaminari interrupted. You gotta at least be a little excited about this trip. Bakugo growled into his pillow, murmuring threats. I'll blow your face off and roast it over a fire, you dunce face. Kaminari chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. I was just asking, man. You don't have to threaten me like that. Both you and Kirishima laughed, entertained by their constant bickering. You slowly began to relax onto the bed, the exhaustion from the day's travels finally catching up to you, before you eventually drift off into a peaceful state of slumber. Woo! And that is it for part 2 of the Wendigo series, guys. I hope you like it. So I will be writing part 3 here soon, but if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Believe me, I would. So if you guys have any requests or anything, then please comment down below in the comment section. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. But before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.